Donald Trump is facing impeachment threats from his own party. And it's not just any threat, it's about Greenland. Yes, Greenland. Republican Congressman Don Bacon just said that if Trump dares to invade, he will be impeached immediately. And get this, Bacon claims there is massive GOP support behind it. But here's where it gets really wild. While Trump's party turns against him, the rest of America is fed up too. Polling shows nearly half of the country thinks he's too old for the job. Yet Trump's response? Complete meltdown. The pressure is mounting from all sides. Stick around because this story is about to escalate in ways you won't expect. Imagine you're one of Trump's supporters, watching as his own party turns against him and facing poll numbers that couldn't be worse. Things seem to be falling apart around him. But that's not the whole picture. The Greenland invasion is just the tip of the iceberg. This isn't just a dispute over land. It's a battle over power, influence, and possibly the end of Trump's reign. Are we witnessing the collapse of an empire, or is this just a brief moment in history? The Republican Party isn't just throwing threats. They're questioning whether Trump is fit to lead anymore. And if he's losing that grip on power, who's next? So do you really believe Trump can turn this around, or is this the beginning of an inevitable end? Right now, everything's going downhill for Trump, and the numbers don't lie. A recent poll shows nearly 50% of Americans think he's too old to be president. Only 36% disagree. That's not just criticism. It's a shock to someone who once saw himself as irreplaceable. But age isn't the only issue. Only 34% of Americans think Trump is changing the country for the better. That number is practically frozen, just the small group of people still blindly loyal to him. The rest of the country is disgusted, especially independents and Democrats. So what's really happening here? One thing is clear, Trump is losing support from even his staunchest allies. And this is just the beginning of his power unraveling. But this is just the start. Look at what's been happening recently, from the Greenland invasion threat to reckless military decisions around the globe. Trump's leadership style is becoming increasingly dangerous, and the reactions from international allies can't be ignored. Just last year, he promised to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. How's that working out? A war still drags on, with consequences the world can't yet fathom. Now, we see former allies from Europe sending special forces to protect Greenland from an invasion by the United States. This is a clear sign. The so-called America First policy has made many countries rise up in defiance. This isn't just a shift. It's the result of one person pushing everything out of control. And the evidence just keeps piling up. Trump hasn't just lost the support of American voters. He's escalating tensions globally. Take his stance on Iran, for example. Remember, at the start of this year, Trump said if one Iranian protester was killed, America would intervene immediately. But when his allies from Qatar to Saudi Arabia warned him about the instability military action could cause, Trump completely shifted his stance. Instead of standing firm, he took to Twitter to praise the achievement of stopping death sentences for Iranian protesters. This is the stark contradiction between what Trump says and what he does. On one hand, he promised to protect the people of Iran. On the other, he's bragging about a ceasefire deal without actually doing anything to stop the ongoing oppression. And if you think this is something to celebrate, think again. This is a weak, watered-down approach to foreign policy. Can Trump really still be trusted to lead? But it doesn't stop there. Look at what's happening in Venezuela. Trump has sided with Maduro's regime, and instead of leading the country in a direction that benefits Americans, he's taking shady detours with foreign interests. Meanwhile, the events surrounding Greenland, the U.S. military sent to protect American interests there, all of it shows one thing. Things are spiraling out of control. And let's add another detail. Trump recently bought up to $500,000 worth of Victoria's Secret bonds. Why this investment? Why now? It's a move that raises serious questions. Meanwhile, Trump continues to boast about great financial numbers, but Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, with rising unemployment and crushing debt. These are just a few of the flashing warning signs we can't ignore. So what happens if all of this continues? Will America descend further into chaos? But this isn't just about numbers and politics. It's impacting your life and the lives of millions. While Trump throws lavish parties at Mar-a-Lago, millions of Americans are struggling every day. Families can't pay their bills, people can't afford homes, and healthcare is being ripped away. The gap between Trump's world and the reality of everyday Americans is growing wider. Trump can keep boasting about a strong economy, but for millions, that's just empty talk. His healthcare policies have left people without insurance, and his financial plans are nothing more than empty promises. The country is on the brink of collapse if something doesn't change soon. So what do you think? If you're feeling the pressure of these issues in your own life, drop a comment. This isn't just Trump's problem, it's all of ours. Now it's time to look beyond the outrage. Trump's policies aren't just a personal failure, they're the result of a system that allows people like him to rise to power without facing real consequences. The connection between money, power, and political manipulation has created a system where corruption thrives. Politics has become less about serving the people and more about maintaining a grip on power, using fear, silence, and empty promises to keep the system in place. From Trump's financial dealings abroad to his secretive military strategies, it's clear the system is more about self-interest than national welfare. The system Trump is exploiting is broken, and it's the same system that's allowing him to continue his reign. That's why we're seeing the country become more unstable, with no clear accountability for those in charge. So what happens next? Trump's future could unfold in one of two ways. One possibility is that he will continue to fight with more attacks and political maneuvers to hold onto his power, even if it means deeper divisions within his party and the nation. Trump may use these crises to remain the center of attention, keeping himself in the spotlight and indispensable to his followers. But on the other hand, all this chaos could pave the way for new voices within the Republican Party and even across the country to rise and take his place. A drastic change might come suddenly as the pressure from the party, public opinion, and even international allies may force Trump out. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. The events of today are pushing us toward a tipping point. In all of this, one thing is certain. Nobody knows exactly what's next for Donald Trump and the future of America. His actions aren't just personal failures. They're the result of a system that lets figures like him rise to power without consequence. And once these forces start to unravel, there's no going back. So if all of this has made you rethink the future of this country, make sure you don't miss the next video. What you've seen today may just be the beginning of something much bigger. And if you want to stay informed with deeper analysis, make sure to follow and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next.